All right. Here we go. Now, again, listen. Oh, today we have a short class period, so we got to really get going. All right. No, that was my other. Okay, here we go. Now, if you don't mind, let's go up to special factoring, a squared minus 36. So look at a squared minus 36. That should be, we should be able to zip down this column pretty quickly. All right? So a squared minus 36 would be what?
A minus 6. A minus 6.
Good. All right, a plus 6 times a minus 6. 9x squared minus 49.
3x minus 7. 3x minus 7.
All right, that's music to my ears. All right? Not that I can say some of you can sing. All right, here we go. No, that was especially for you.
Okay, yesterday's conversation does not.
Now, listen, fractions. All right, although they're not difficult, you will not see them on the quiz tomorrow. But just because we're smart, we're going to go ahead and say number 5. The answer is go.
Wait, why is it 1/2?
Because 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4.
I did 1/8.
So 1/2 x plus 5y times 1/2 x minus 5y. Stop now and listen. All right. Now we're going to finish up number 7. All right. Go ahead.
8 plus a squared b squared 8 minus a squared b squared.
Exactly. Hey, girls. Beautiful. I told you it wasn't that hard. All right. Now, if you want, let's just go ahead and cross out number 10 for now. Don't worry about that. Why? Well, can some of you do it?
Y to the 4th plus 9 and y to the 4th minus 9.
Y to the 4th plus 9 and y to the 4th minus 9. However, the y to the 4th minus 9 can be factored. Stay. All right, guys, we're interrupting, which means there's not as much work can be done. Every time I have to stop and pause, all right, that means we have less work that we've got done. All right, so y to the 4th plus 9 cannot be factored because there's a plus sign. All right, y to the 4th minus 9 can be factored. So we would say y to the 4th plus 9, y squared plus 3, and y squared minus 3. And now we're done because 3 is not a perfect square. In Algebra 2, you will learn how to factor that out even more. But right now, we don't know about imaginary numbers, so we can't really factor that. And we don't really know about square roots.
So it doesn't matter the order of the minus?
Of course not. What?
Yeah, so for like the y4 plus 9, why would you not do like
Because you want the middle term to factor out. If it's plus, the signs both have to be positive or both have to be negative.
Yeah.
And there's no way the middle term will cancel out then.
Oh.
Right, so on the smiley face here, look. That right there would be a positive 3, and that would be negative 3, and they would cancel.
Okay.
Quickly.
When we always have 2 terms, do we always do plus and minus?
Yes, that's exactly right. If there's only 2 terms, you know it's going to be the plus and minus. However, you have to remember, too, they have to be perfect squares, right? It's got to be like a 16 or a 9 or a 25. You hear me?
If it isn't.
Then you can't factor it.
Okay.
Right? Just like this right here, y squared minus 3. Can't factor that. All right? Now, continuing, going down the page. All right, let's look at 5. What are the factors of 27 that make 12? 9 and 3. So you should be able to say a plus 9, a plus 3. Factors of 24 that are 14. 12 and 2. Everybody with me? All right. Now, in order for that to work, they both have to be what, though? -2 and -12. Now, look, it's your own fault if you're not speaking up now. Nothing I can do. All right. M squared, factors of 36 that are 13. 12 and 3 makes 15 or 9. 4 and 9 would work if they're
6 and
both.
6.
Listen, so look right here. This is a really hard problem. So I want it to be m plus 9 and m plus 4. What's wrong with that?
There's a negative 36.
That's right. It's negative 36. So listen, that's where you have to pay attention. This one is actually what? That's actually prime. It doesn't work. All right, 9 and 4 make 13. But the only way you can make a plus 13 if they're both positive. But if they're both positive, then that negative 36 does not work. So bear with me on that. All right, you might want to put a star by that and look that over.
So prime means you can't.
Prime means you can't factor it. Okay? So let's look at the next one. Factors of 15 that make 8. Yep, so it would be what? X minus 3, X minus 5. Factors of 32 that are 4. 4 and 8. So it would be X. Yep. Wow, what a difference a day makes. All right. So everybody's happy with that? Yes.
I thought if it was like, you know how it's negative 36, I thought that you can't have a positive. Because it's negative, it's negative 32, so there's no day.
So positive 4, listen to me now. Positive 4 times negative 8 is that negative 32. You hear me?
Yeah.
Now, the middle term, do you want me to show you how to get the middle term, or
No, I don't.
you don't need that? Okay. Here we go. Keep going down the page. All right. Factors of 12 that are 7.
X plus 3, X plus 4.
Good. X plus 3, X plus 4. Number 3. No, that's 2. Let's go. We're doing odds now because I want to get to some of the harder problems.
Y minus 8.
Y minus 8, Y plus 1. Number 5.
X plus 8, X minus 4.
Good. And what about 7?
X minus 2, X minus 2.
Beautiful. Number 9. Now, listen to me. On 9, notice that t squared is positive, correct?
Yes.
If t squared is positive, I want you to go ahead and just rewrite it. That's what I want you to do. If t squared is negative, you leave it alone. Trust me. Everybody see with that?
So how would the equation look if it was negative t squared?
Yeah, it would be like that.
So nothing would happen.
Well, you just factor it with 2 parentheses.
Oh, okay.
You with me? All right, but if the t is positive, it's much easier. And on the test, it's not going to be out of order. On the test, it's not going to be out of order. I don't think. I'm going to go back and look. All right, here we go. Factoring that just becomes what?
T minus 1.
Good. T minus 1. T minus 3. Listen, if it takes so long, that's because it's probably full. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, these are a little bit harder now because the leading coefficient is something other than a 1. All right? So, here we go. 2 sets of parentheses. The only way to make 2x squared is with 2x and x. I need it to be negative 5. So I'm going to put the 3 here and the 1 here. I also need it to be negative 3. So this is negative and that's positive. Again, I'm just stressing. You can check your work. This is what? 1x and negative 6x, which makes negative 5x. All right? What's that? You know why? And that's what I'm trying to tell you. The reason why people get frustrated, the reason why kids get frustrated is because there's no just way to go do it. You have to guess and check. You have to plug the numbers in. You have to erase. After you get experience, you'll start to see it easier. But right now it's harder because you've been sick. Okay, you haven't had the experience yet. All right, so you're just going to have to struggle through it. Eventually you start to see the patterns. All right, number 3. Now this one you'd be able to see a little bit easier, Connor, because you need it to be 15. So where would this 7 go if I'm trying to make 15? It would go on the right side because 7 times 2 is what? There you go. So I know a 7 is here and a 1 is here, and I need them both to be positive in order for it to be 15. You see what I'm saying? All right. Again, smiley face. That helps. All right. Now I'm on number 5. All right. Open parentheses. The only way to make 5n squared. Now, 3 and 2. All right. If I put the 2 on the right side, that would create a 10. And 3. That doesn't work. So I want to put a 3 on the right side. Connor, you see what I'm doing? 3 over here. Because that makes what? 15. Now put a 2 here. That makes 2. 15 and 2 makes 17. So they're both positive. What? Come on. Leave them alone. Let them concentrate. All right. Now, number 7. All right, here we go. 2 sets of parentheses. I need 3x squared. 3x and x. The only way to make 7 was 7 and 1. 7 doesn't go on the right because that would make 21. Too big. So 7 has to go on the left. 1, 7, and 3. Positive, negative. All right, number 9. Now 9's a little bit harder because 9 can be 9 and 1 or 3 and 3. I suggest do the middle terms. So, in my opinion, I would put 3y and 3y. Then I would try 4 and 2. Doesn't matter where you put it. 4 and 2, 12 and 6. Everybody see that? Connor, you getting the hang of it? All right, I want it to be positive. So I want the 12 to be positive and the 2 to be negative. Everybody pretty good with that? All right, here we go. Yes. Yes, exactly. Because they're both 3s. That's the only time that works. All right, good job. All right, over here, same principle. Except factoring completely. All right, that means you have to pull what's common first. Every time you should be saying, what's the GCF? In this case, the GCF is what? X. So you pull out an X. Then it becomes 3X. Uh-oh. This is a problem. They did make a typo here. Sorry. My fault. Look right here. I want to erase this real quick. And I want to erase the X. It's supposed to be a 1. They made a typo. Good job, guys. It's a 1. All right, that should have been a 1. So just change that to a 1. Now it works out perfectly. Does everybody see that? Everybody see their typo, right? All right, so now here we go. Equals 2 sets of parentheses, and now we have what? 3x and x plus 1 plus 1. Any issues with that? Any issues? Yes. Yeah. There's 1x and 3x makes 4x. Right? Yes. No, it's not factoring completely. I just thought it was because I just glanced at it. And there was...
if there's a problem and it's like 3x squared plus 4x plus 2 and like 2 factored out,
you'd pull out the 2.
You take out the 2 and just leave nothing there.
That would be a 1. Because you're dividing numbers, remember?
Oh yeah.
Dividing numbers and subtracting exponents. Quickly.
How would you know the difference between the problems, like the section above and the section below? If you saw the section above, couldn't you
let me talk to you about it. Let me talk to you about it when I get there. All right.
No, above it.
Above this one?
Yeah. Like,
these are all the same. They're the same.
Couldn't you like see these and say, oh, that's prime if it doesn't work out, like the entire section?
Which one?
Like, let's say you saw 2x minus 5x minus 3, and you didn't know that it was like. Oh wait, never mind. I see what you're saying.
Okay. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Let's check out number 3 now. All right, again, 2 sets of parentheses, 2n and n. I'm trying to make 11, so I have to put 5 on the right. So it'd be 5, 1, minus, minus. Everybody good with that? Yes, sir.
Don't you know put 5 on the right?
Well, because I knew I need to make 11, right?
Okay.
So 2 and 5 make what? See how I did that?
Okay.
You with me?
Yep.
And again, if you do it enough, you'll start to say, I need to make 11, and I have 5. That's not close to 11, so I got to multiply it by something. You with me? All right, so let's look at 5 now. Just like here, all right, I have 5h and h. Now, is 7 on the right or the left? If I put 7 on the right, 7 times 5 makes what? Which is too big. You hear me?
Yeah.
That's important. Connor, did you hear me? I'm making good notes now for you. If you're not listening, you're not getting any better. You see why 7 doesn't go on the right? Okay, so put 7 on the left, 1 over here, negative, positive. All right? Number 7. Now, for number 7, a little bit harder, and then we're going to do 8 also. All right? So with 6x squared, it could be 3x and 2x or 6x and 1x. I always say start with the middle factors. 3x and 2x. Factors of 15. Now remember, I tried to tell you 3 cannot go here because there would be a common factor then. So I'm putting 3 over here and 5 over here. Everybody good? So then that would be a plus and a plus, because that would make, everybody agree? 10 and 9. 10 and 9. Everybody good?
So like, now you said you can't put that 3 because there would be a common factor. What if like you have to?
You can't. It won't work ever.
Oh.
All right, that's a clue to help you reduce about half your factoring. All right. Now let's look at 28a squared. Why is this one annoying? 1 and 28, 2 and 14, 4 and 7. Lots of options. All right, and then 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So we're going to start with 4 and 7. So we're going to say 4a and 7a. Then I'm going to do the factors of 12, 3 and 4. Where does 4 have to go? On the right, and 3, it would be 4b and 3b. Let's see if that works. How much is there? 21, and how much is that? Now look, guys, if you listen to me, that's done now. Because 21 and 16 can make what? If the 21 is positive, the 16 is negative. Does everybody see what I'm saying? Of course. Doesn't matter. 3 times 2 is the same as 2 times 3. All right. Here we go. Now the factoring completely, which causes problems. You're just now factoring what? Twice. All right, you're factoring twice. I think I put on the test factor completely. I said factor, and then I said factor completely. So factoring just means you're going to factor it what? Once. Factoring completely means you're going to do it twice. All right, so here factoring completely, we have to factor out a what? 2, and this becomes x squared minus 4, right? And then x squared minus 4, you should be able to just say quickly. Good, x plus 2 and x minus 2. Beautiful. Perfect. All right. Middle term. All right, now let's check out 3. What's common? There's a common 3, so let's pull a 3 out. You're left with n squared plus 3n minus 10. Factors of 10 that make 3. And plus 5 and minus 2. Come on, that's not that hard. Just factor twice. Okay? Yes.
And so, it's kind of like the thing in the parentheses, like the problems with this.
Yeah, so if you know how to do everything up to this point, the only thing different is you have to factor out a GCF and then you do what you did previously. All right, that's what makes it easy. All right, so on number 5, what's common? 2. So x squared plus 6x minus 40. What are the factors of 40 that make 6? 10 and 4. So x plus 10, x minus 4. Yes, sir. Good.
I understand like that on the previous problem. I understand like how it works out. See the smiley face stuff. But how did you get that?
How did I get here? How did I get that? How did I get the n squared plus 3n minus 10?
No, the next one.
Okay, so what you do is you say n squared. That's n times n. Now I have 10 here. The factors of 10 are 5 and 2. So I put a 5 here and a 2 there. And then I figure out if it's plus or minus based off the smiley faces. Do you hear me? Okay. Number 7, what's common? 2. So we pull out a 2. We end up with n squared. 4n squared minus 9. And then 4n squared minus 9 factors 2.
2n plus 3, 2n.
Yes, 2 times 2n plus 3, 2n minus 3. Yes.
So when factoring completely, you always use the positive.
No, don't think of it that way. It just so happens that's what's coming out. Okay. I want everybody to turn your attention to question number 11. We'll do 11 and 12. All right, and maybe we'll do 16 also. All right. So here we go. Look at number 11. What's common there?
2x.
Very good, guys. So I end up with 2x. Now the whole thing factor out, so you have to leave a what? 1. Very smart. So 1 minus y squared. And then 1 minus y squared will factor to? Good job. 1 plus y and 1 minus y. Somebody good with that? All right. What's common with 12? 3t. And we end up with t squared. That's okay. T squared minus 9. So far, so good. And then that factors to t plus 3, t minus 3. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I think we should do 16 just to make sure. So factor out a what?
4 squared. X squared.
Yes, thank you. 4x squared. What's left behind? X squared minus 1. All right. See, part of the problem is you're just watching. I don't care. Find a piece of paper. You know, I mean, I'm just telling you, that's just common sense to me. All right, you're not learning by just watching me. You know. Bless you. All right, is everybody okay with that now? Everybody okay? All right. Okay, putting it all together. I think this was just more factoring by grouping. So let's go ahead and go down. Bless you. 1 through 7, I think, is important. Here we go. Number 1, what's common? 2 is, but better is 8. So we'll go 8 parentheses 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Yes.
You have to do the greatest common
If you don't, it's wrong. Okay. Now equals, and you can tell if you accidentally factor out a 2, you can see there's another 4, right? Or if you factor out a 4, then you see there's another 2. All right. So now we're factoring this parentheses 2x and x. Now this is the one where there's 2 options but 1 answer. So it has to be a 1 and a 3. Very good. All right, negative and positive. 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Everybody good with that? All right, let's knock out number 3. What's common? 5. So we have x squared minus 12x minus, what is that, 28? Now the factors of 28 that make 12. 14 and 2, thank you. So this would be 5, x minus 14, and x plus 2. Hey, is you getting there? Michael? You haven't said much. I mean it, guys. I can't help. You know what I mean? I just can't do it. You have to say, hey, I need a little bit of help. All right, because really, it shouldn't be hard tomorrow. All right. Okay, number 5 is important. What are we factoring out?
K squared.
Good job. K squared. I'm left with 5k squared plus 8k minus 4. Is everybody happy with that? Everybody good?
Yes.
All right. So now I have k squared, open 2 sets of parentheses, 5k, k, 2, 2, 2, and 10 makes 8 if 10 is positive and 2 is negative. Okay, that's honestly as hard as it is. All right. If you're good with number 5, you're in pretty good shape. All right. Let's take a look at number 7. I think 7 is important. So what are we factoring that to? Y squared, and then 8 and 2, right? So it would be negative 8 plus 2. Now, if it was y squared minus 9, that could factor, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. All right? Now we're factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping. All right? So again, what I want to do here, taking a little bit of time, but it's worth it. I want to make sure you see it properly. Okay, here we go. So factoring by grouping. Group them together. What's common?
X.
X. You're left with
X plus 2.
what's common?
Y.
Positive y.
Plus y.
And then it's x plus 2. Right? Now what's common?
X plus 2.
X plus 2. What's left behind? X plus y. Yes. I'm not sure what you mean now. You got to be specific. So what I'm trying to tell you now is, do you understand this part? Okay, so look right here. Come on. You ready? This 2 right there. What do you have? What's in common? That's right. That's why I pulled out an X.
Oh, so
Yep, factoring it. And then you look at the second set. Watch me now. I'm looking at the second set and saying what's common there. That's right. That's why that went there. Right? And then it'll always work out that these 2 things will always be the same. What? Quickly.
What if you just put X plus 2, X plus Y? Would be wrong.
You have to put them in parentheses
I know, but what if I just did that?
because you can look at that and tell. You'll be like one of the few people that I've ever run into that can do that.
Well, I just did.
I know there's a pattern to it. I know. I agree. All right. So now we're going to do number 3. All right. Now this one's kind of tricky. All right. So grouping. What's common?
T.
No.
T squared.
T squared. When I factor out a t squared, what's left?
T squared.
No.
T minus 1.
T minus 1. Come on now, pay attention to this one. Everybody with me on that? Now I have a problem. There is nothing common with t minus 1, correct? So you're just factoring out a positive 1. Thank you. If you knew that, you're in great shape. Positive 1. T minus 1. Everybody see that? And now, what's common? T minus 1. T squared plus 1. Good job. All right, let's check out number, cross out 5. We're not going to do the fractions. All right, actually 4 would probably be a good one. Let's talk about 4. Okay, here we go. What's common? 2, you're left with 5 plus t. Now, what's common here? A negative s. A negative s. When you factor out a negative, the signs change. So that's going to be 5 plus. And what's common?
5 plus t. It's 2 minus s.
So far, so good? All right. Let's take a look now, and let's try 7. Okay, what's common? You're left with what's common? Negative d. So d plus 3. Final answer.
D plus 3 minus t.
Beautiful. Everybody with me? Yes, Thomas.
So like whenever you like,
See 4 terms. Factor by grouping.
yeah, but with the negative.
Yeah, when you factor out a negative, change the signs. That's the rule. And if you want, you can say, hey, when I distribute it, if you redistribute, you'll see that it works out quickly, because I got one more.
Number 3.
Actually, I can do number 3, but I want to give you a problem that's easy, but I know it's on the test, and I just don't want you to be confused. So look up, please. I'm just going to make one up real quick. 5 times x plus y minus z times x plus y. Yeah, that's how easy. All right, sometimes it's in the right form, right? All right.
Sometimes it would be like negative y.
And then we're going to do that one right now. Thank you.
You have to move it.
Hold on. So here's the next one. If I do, for example, x times y minus 2 plus 3 times 2 minus y.
You have to,
It's y minus 2.
It's y minus 2.
Right. So it would be, rewrite it, x times y minus 2, and then that would become a negative 3, and then
minus 2.
y minus 2. So then,
Y minus 2 x.
yes. All right, that's the only thing we haven't gone over. All right, that's the only thing we haven't gone over, yes.
Why did you change it to a negative?
Well, because do you see how this right here and this right here are not the same? They're off by a factor of a negative 1.
Oh, okay.
So I pull out the negative, which changed 3 to a negative 3 instead of positive 3. Okay, so listen, honestly, I feel like if you wanted to stay with me on this one, cross out 10. If you were looking to practice, cross out 12. All right, let me just stay with me. Realistically, don't do any of this on that side. Please stay with me. If you want to get practice, extra practice, all of those are good. All of these 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 are good. And those are good. All right. Now listen, I'm thinking about tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, print out, if you remember, print out everything that you've done at home and bring it to me tomorrow. If you do those extra credit, I'll give you anywhere from 0 to 10 points extra credit. All right. I want this page, all of it printed out. I don't want to look at your iPad. I want the physical notes. Everybody hear me?
I can't print it out.
You can come here and print it out. It doesn't matter if it's tiny. I can read.
Here, why would
You sure?
Because, listen to me, 8's not 9.
So it has to be 9?
If it's 9, it would be y plus 3y minus
So
3.
they have to be the same numbers?
Doesn't matter.
So like could it be 16?
Cece, I got
Okay.
You sure you can read?
So I'm gonna show you this.
On my lunch.
Okay.
From the lunch.
Alright.